How's it going, everyone? Hope you're having a wonderful day. William Crossland here with another race review. This week we get to discuss the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 from the Lone Star State of Texas at Texas Motor Speedway. And I hope you like my little intro there. I spent a little time working on that while I was getting my some footage from the short film I'm helping film loaded up to my computer. The reason I'm not shooting on my actual camera this week is because of that short film project that I'm working on, because it is currently rendering something right now and it's taking like an hour and 5 minutes. So back to the webcam. Texas was surprising. It wasn't a boring race like I thought it would be, as everybody would come to expect it to be, being a mile-and-a-half track. But the excitement did not come from great racing. It came from more of a lot of problems and just funny mishaps going on throughout the race. Tires failing and air guns and loose lug nuts and lug nuts falling away and a guy falling over the pit wall to recover a tire. All sorts of things going on at Texas. Hold on, there's a siren and it's coming down this way. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the race, shall we? Stage 1, lap 3, there's already a caution. Alex Bowman clipped the apron, spun, took out Paul Menard, Austin Dillon, and Daniel Suarez, all of which were still able to run on the track, but their day was pretty much over very early on in lap 3. The FS1 crew did mention that Emmitt Smith was with the Joey Logano pit box, since his number when he did play for the Dallas Cowboys was number 22. I guess that's just where he wants to be, but he was there. It was nice to see somebody from another sport come see a NASCAR race, and he was there for his charity, I do believe. He was bringing some underprivileged kids to go watch something that maybe they wouldn't have the chance to do otherwise. So good on you, Emmitt Smith, and that Pennzoil looks good on you. The quick little intro video I made about the very cold day to be in, especially to be at Texas, and fast speeds, and the right front is not able to handle these speeds. They were going 207 into turn 1, which seems to be the fastest corner on the track, and this was causing a lot of problems for the right front. We saw plenty of people having problems maintaining grip and recovering. Clint Bowyer got a little loose in the beginning and recovered. But others, like Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson, were not so lucky, as you saw in the intro video. And stage 1, Harvick gets up to the lead, and he starts leading by 11 seconds. And that's the point where I started to fall asleep, to be honest, because it's nothing new, nothing's happening. 11-second gap. It's just dominance, and dominance is not entertaining or interesting unless you're the one driving the car. And right about here is when Martin Truex Jr. slammed the wall out of turn 4. And that made he slammed the wall out of turn 4. Really hard hit. Glad he's okay. And that brought out the caution, which would end stage 1 under caution, which would lead to Kevin Harvick winning stage 1. Now at the beginning of stage 2, Kyle Busch started to take the lead away from Kevin Harvick right at the restart. And after seeing all of stage 1, it kind of made me want to root for Kyle Busch a little bit. And you'll never hear me say that, trust me. I despise Kyle Busch. I despise that kind of driver, that kind of person. I don't know him. I don't know the guy personally, but I don't like his attitude. I've never really liked him. As you saw in my 2017 season spotlight, I do not take too kindly to Kyle Busch. But hey, if somebody's going to pass Kevin Harvick, at this point, I'm rooting for you for some reason. So I was kind of hoping Kyle Busch could take the lead. And right about here is when Kyle Larson decided to slam into the wall. And that brought out another caution. His right front tire just gave out. After the Kyle Larson caution, Kevin Harvick had a really bad pit stop and he came out in 9th. So it seemed like it was going to be a little fair after all. And this was just the beginning of Harvick's troubles for the day. At the beginning of this restart, we had two brothers on the front row. That would be Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch. And then Happy Harvick had some more problems, had a loose wheel and had to come back down pit road, only this time under green flag conditions, which put him a lap down. And out of the Busch brothers restart, Kurt was able to take the lead. And he maintained it for quite a while. And 4 to go, Kyle Busch challenges brother Kurt, and he succeeds. And that would make Kyle Busch your winner of stage 2. And to me, that battle between Kyle and Kurt was really the most interesting battle all day. They were really giving it their all, and like Darrell Waltrip was saying, with brothers there is an embedded. I can say this from experience. With brothers, there is an embedded sense of rivalry already. Not only that they are competitors on the track, but also they are from the same family, and they're fighting for I'm better than you rights. I'm sure that's just how the Busch brothers were raised, and it really did show there. And then something weird happens as we get into the final stage. Lap 178, just get a what moment? To clarify, Almirola checked up on Hamlin and put the number 11 sideways, and this collects Johnson, Trevor Bayne, Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, and David Ragan. And I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I do believe this was the first actual red flag of this season. And I'm not talking rain delay, I mean like actual red flag conditions. And so we sat there in a red flag for a while, and that gave the Fox crew some time to go back to the Hollywood Hotel and talk about their picks, and they get to do a little NASCAR race hub in the middle of the race. Now going back to the green, Erik Jones gets to lead with Kurt Busch following close behind. Now keep your eye on that Jones boy, as Ken Squire gave him the name, because I do have a good feeling about him next week at Bristol. He did a really good job this week at Texas, and I think he'll do even better at Bristol. That was one of my 10 predictions from the beginning of the year. Now Chase Elliott gets a right front vibration, most likely a right front tire issue. He has to make a green flag stop, puts him a lap down. Now he gets back onto the track, and he must pass Harvick to stay on the lead lap. And he had the fresh tires, and Harvick didn't. Getting close to the end, green flag pit stops ensue, and this puts William Byron on the point for a lap or so until he too had to go down pit road, and that put Erik Jones back in the lead. That is just before Paul Menard brought out the caution. Remember that lap 3 incident? Yeah, Paul Menard was in that, and so those cars that were involved in the very early incidents were just being a burden for the last stage as they were spinning out from the casualties they suffered in the beginning of the race. This is where Kevin Harvick had too many men over the wall trying to grab a loose wheel coming out of their pit stall. They went back to green, that is until Casey Kane and Trevor Bayne brought out the 7th caution, and as NASCAR Chasm, the famous NASCAR Twitter account, said, he said something like, if your name rhymes with train, this is a bad caution for you, or something like that. After this, Jamie McMurray pulls into the 2nd position. This got me really excited. When's the last time we've seen Jamie McMurray go well, and when's the last time we've seen him win? He was one of those drivers next to Clint Boyer's name on longest winless streaks when they showed it 2 weeks ago at Martinsville. I think Jamie McMurray had like 151 races without a win, but you know, he's like a dark horse. He comes out of nowhere, and he's consistent, but like they don't tend to show him as much because he's older and they're focusing on this new movement. But he seemed really happy at the end of the race to be in one of the top finisher interviews. I'm sure that was a real treat for him, and also a real positive motivation boost going forward. But this whole time, Kevin Harvick was still persisting and charging forward, clearly had the better car, and he was making so much ground on everybody in front of him. And then we get another slam! Ryan Newman brings out the caution after this, and the rest of the race was Harvick and Kyle Busch battling it out. It wasn't really a battle because Kyle Busch was able to pull ahead of Harvick after the restart in true Kyle Busch fashion, and there was just no way for Harvick to catch him no matter what he did. I still don't like Kyle Busch, but he took a lot of crap in this race, and so did Harvick. And they had a lot of trials to go through, and times when it really didn't look like they would make it to the end in the top 5, but somehow they managed to do it, and somehow Kyle Busch managed to win. So for the record, I do not like Kyle Busch. but he earned this win, and I think this is a well-deserved win for Kyle Busch. Puts him in the playoffs just like we knew he would be. How about Bubba Wallace, though? P8 for him. Great day for him. Good motivational boost for him. I'm always saying motivational boost, but I do mean it. It's really his best finish since Daytona when he finished second. Still a lot of work to do, but maybe this will get his crew motivated, him and his crew both motivated enough to start being more consistent and staying on the lead lap week after week. So what did you think about this week? What did you think about Texas? Did you hear that Brian France was actually at the race this week? How about that? Who would have known that the CEO of NASCAR could actually show up to one of the races that he is in charge of? That's the end of this review. What did you think about Texas? Are you excited for Bristol? I know I am. It's in my home state. Can't wait to see Eric Jones pull out a win and solidify another one of my predictions from the beginning of the year. If you like what you saw, go ahead and give this video a like, and if you want to subscribe and follow me all season long, go ahead and do that as well. Thank you for watching, and until next week, this is William Crossland. Thanks for listening.